Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mir Fariana, and here I will to try explain about my second novel report. Entitled is Little Woman. The author Louisa M. Alcott. Okay, Alcott's most well-known and loved novel, Little Woman, bears heartwarming life lessons with more radical ideas about women's roles in 19th century America. Sister Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy March learn to bear relative poverty following the warm example of their mother Marmee, while their father is away at war. This novel tells a family story that is full of drama, but also implies meaning in life. Little Woman is prefaced by an excerpt from John Bunyan's 17th century novel The Pilgrim's Progress, an allegorical or symbolic novel about living a Christian life. The excerpt concerns the novel's female character, Mercy, not its main male character, Christian, indicating that Alcott's novel will be a guide for young girls. The next is genre. This novel genre is family drama, romance, and women's struggles. Although Little Woman would certainly be considered appropriate for almost any age group, the length, classic language, and storyline are probably best studied to slightly older readers. Date of first publication in 1868 to 1869. Publisher is Roberts Brothers. Mood and tone from this novel is the mood of most of the novel is very introspective. The style is formal and borders on didactic in many chapters, especially those chapters where some tragedy or misfortune has occurred. Meanwhile, for the tone from this novel are affectionate, sympathetic. The narrator's affection for Amy and sympathy for her situation is strongly communicated to us in this example, as it is throughout the novel for each of the sisters. Okay, next is main characters. Main characters in this novel is Josephine March, or as called as Jo March. She's a protagonist character and the second oldest from March's sister. And then Margaret or Meg March, she is the oldest from March's sister. She's kind and most responsible from the other March sister, but she great part of her is a gentle, loving, and morally vigorous. Next is Elizabeth or Beth March. She's the third March sister. She adores music and has ability to play piano so well. The last is Amy March. She is the youngest of March's sister. She likes painting. Amy adores visual beauty and like art. She is given to putting fits of temper and vanity, but she does attempt to improve herself. Next characters is Laurie Lawrence, March family's neighbor. He is charming and clever, and also have a charismatic face. Next character is Mother, or Marmee, or Mrs. March, the most passionate woman in the world for March's sisters. Marmee teaches her daughters about manner and knowledge. Marmee is the moral role model for her girls. She counsels them through all of their problems and worked hard but happily while her husband is at war. Then is Mr. March or March's sister fathers, also called as Papa by his daughters. His figure is less highlighted in the story, but is described as a good father and husband to his daughters and wife. Next is Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence is Laurie's grandfather. He is kind old man. Mr. Lawrence seems very gruff, but he has a kind and loving heart, especially with the neighbor March family. Next is Frederick Beyer, a respected professor in Germany who becomes an impoverished language instructor in America. Mr. Beyer lives in New York where he meets Jo. He is kind and fatherly, and finally he is getting married with Jo. Next is Mr. Brooke. He is Laurie's tutor that ended with marrying Meg. The last character is Hannah. Hannah is March's family handmaiden. She is old woman, but she is so patient and kind to take care about March's family needs. Plot from this story describe lives about March's family and also the four March sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy, and details their passage from childhood to womanhood, from the March sister childhood to their marriage and the death of one of them. Setting from this novel is Concord, Massachusetts, New York, in New England in the middle 19th century. Next is the likes and dislikes from this novel. It's about all of my opinion. What I like about this novel is, apart from the classic story, is that it also depicts the struggles of the March sisters in their life. This novel is inspiring, educational, and entertaining at the same time. Little Woman is an excellent, easy-to-read book that has delighted generations of readers. It's the classic Civil War era story of four very different, but very creative, sisters on their home front with their endearing mother, anticipating their father's homecoming from the war. Overall, I like reading this novel and almost didn't find a way to dislike this novel. Okay, this slide I show the proof from the novel that describe a family drama genre. In the novel, it is described that Marmee, as the mother of Sister March, along with her four daughters, reads the letter sent by her fathers together. Describe the togetherness of a harmonious family. We can catch from the second passage, give them all of my dear love and a kiss, tell them I think of them by day, pray for them by night, I find my best comfort in their affection at all times. A year seems very long to wait before I see them, but remind them that while we wait we may all work, so that these hard days need to be wasted. I know that will remember all I said to them, that they will be loving children to you, will do their duty faithfully, fight their bosom enemies bravely, and conquer themselves so beautifully that when I come back to them I may be fonder and prouder than ever of my little woman. Okay, next slide is proof from the novel that have a romance genre. In this part, show about Jo and Mr. Beyer love line that describes from the language they use in conversation and description about their lives. In chapter 47, for a year Jo and her professor worked and waited, hoped and loved, met occasionally and wrote such voluminous letters that the rise in the price of paper of accounted for, Laurie said. And then in the next of this chapter 47, we can find, I don't know, I'm afraid not, for I didn't have any hurt just then. Then I do not believe it was asleep till a very prince came through the wood and wake it up. Ah well, but that I should not expect. Yes, the first love is the best, but be so contented, for I never had another. Teddy was only a boy, and soon got over his little fancy. Okay, I think that's all for this explanation for me. Thank you for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.